Hello everyone. Today what we're going to do is we are going to go over how to color a face. A lot of you had issues with that, and basically what I did was I drew this person's head real quick, just a random cartoon that I just kind of messed around with. And what we're going to do is we're gonna color this instead of an actual face. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want you to get away from the concept that you are coloring a person. So obviously we are drawing our outline of ourselves. However, we want to think of it back to when we were doing those vectorized projects where we were doing the game controllers or keys or whatever you chose to do. There was a bunch of different choices for people that they went going with. With that, um, you're thinking of that where we just find a flat color and we color the entire thing that way, and then we add additional things here and there to make it look three-dimensional, make it look real. Well, the same thing goes with our face. We just basically want to color this thing without thinking of it as a face. So remember, you want all your outlines to be in one group. Later on, we can add eyelashes and stuff like that on top if you want them differently, whatever it may be. We're actually going to, one of the next demos that I'm going to post soon is also how to color eyes properly, or a good way to color eyes properly. But I'll show you that later on, and we can talk about doing eyelashes, eyebrows, all that stuff. So with this particular video, though, we're going to go over how I have it set up where you guys just come in here and color. Normally, I would pick a nice easy spot right here where the ears of this cartoon that I drew are nice and easy because I have a nice intersection, and then I would follow along all the way around. One thing I need to remind you guys is just in case you have little gaps like this, like I purposely put these actually rather large gaps in because you got to realize that your face is connected to your neck. The only reason why it looks like a nice sharp line is because of your jawline. However, the skin that touches your cheek is the same as the skin that touches your neck. So I left these little gaps to show that basically, even though there was that big gap there, we would wind up continuing on and making this look like it's one continuous color. Obviously, if I were to have a neck on this person, it would be nice and easy because it would just come down the neck. And then later on, add some shadowing in this area in order to make it look like an actual chin and the shadow that is created underneath the jawline. So anyway, so what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to just come in here and I am going to draw underneath these outlines. So I'm going to click on the background layer. Normally that would be your picture. Mine's blank because I purposely didn't want anything underneath this to show you how I'm just tracing lines. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these lines as best as I can how I think it would be. Obviously, because I just got done doing all these strokes, I'm left on this nice thick stroke that I had. That one's kind of mimicking the little nodule that's underneath my nose that I put here, or the nose that I drew rather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it where there's no color at all in the stroke, meaning no outline, but the fill has a color in it, so a face color. So I kind of already have one a little bit right here, actually right here I should say. I'll wind up going with that one. If you wanted to make your face green, if that's what it is in the picture, you would just obviously use the eyedropper and copy that color over. Or what you can do is you can do the color palette, which I explained in one of the other videos. So this way you have actual coloring of your face in the photo. If you're using a photo that has a filter in it and you have some odd coloring in it, and you want to get some true colors from your face, so this way it doesn't look odd, you can always bring in another photo that we can take in class real quick using the lighting, just to brighten up your face real nice and bright before we do the color palette thing. So you don't have to use your original image to get your colors. You can use any other that has nice coloring, even if you don't like the particular photo itself. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a little area. I like to go into places where there's an intersection. Obviously, start in something that's a little bit easier than where I just started. I started in a big gap. Choose an area like this where lines are touching. This is a nice intersection where you knew that you could just follow along this outline. So we're going to outline the outlines essentially, is if you want to think of it that way, where we stay on the complete outside of your head, all the way to the edge. Don't worry about tracing inside because this is all going to be on top of the color, and the color is just going to be the big trace of your head essentially. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this where there is none for the color of the stroke. So you can see how that stroke color went away. Then as for the fill, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on this because that's a face color that I stole from something else. So as I'm going, right now it doesn't look like I have anything, and you'll see as I continue, it winds up adding additional color. So what I'm going to do is now remember when you hold the command key, it switches back and forth between the pen and the node tool. So I'm going to hold the node tool, just stretch this out just a little bit, so this way I have that nice curve that would be the rest of my jawline if I drew it completely. And then basically from now on I can just kind of stay along this black line. I kind of want to make sure that I have this nice connection here just like I did there as well. You can do a little bit more points if it makes it easier for you. You see how I'm doing these little gaps. The only thing that's important is that you stay underneath. Now notice my line did not continue, and the reasoning being is, and you're probably going to do the same thing, is I left myself on the line mode. So I'm going to undo. So I'm back on this one. I'm going to switch to this pen mode, and then I got to make sure that I hit Command and click on that last node. Notice that it has now a blue dot with a red outline. That means I'm last clicked on this. This means that now when I draw, it will continue from that one. See how the last dot you have is blue with a red line around it? So that allowed me to just hop on that line and just continue it on. Now, if I draw additional lines, it makes it a little bit easier now, or more nodes, it makes it a little bit easier now. So don't have to worry about following completely the line exactly straight. However, obviously every once in a while I'm just going to have to bend these out just a little bit. I want this blue line to stay under the black lines as much as possible. Now, I think I should come up just a tad, so I'm just going to move this up just a little bit. Now I think if I jump to this, I can just bend this out, and that created a nice chin. So again, I'm just tracing the outline of the outline, essentially. I'm outlining the outline. So now I don't have to do a ton of dots, but make it easier on yourself. So like even like this curve, I'm just going to kind of go like that, so I don't even have to worry about bending it out, except for this one I'm going to bend it out slightly. Okay, and then I can just follow along here, jump to there. See how I don't have to do the curves as much. If I do a little bit more dots, I'm zoomed completely in. Here, I don't even have to worry about curving that because my assumption is that because my eye is going this way with that line, that line's going to continue up like that. In all reality, when you draw an ear, it tucks back down and in, so most likely this actually should be down here and bent up. But that wasn't the way that I drew it, but I'll fix it later. So now I'm just making sure that this blue line is staying underneath this black line the whole entire way. I clicked off of that by accident, so I gotta click back. And again, just bending this out occasionally and just making sure that I'm staying underneath. Notice that I'm zoomed all the way in to make my life easier. And the reasoning why I'm doing that is again, so it's easier, but also I don't want you paying attention to your face. I want you just paying attention to where the outline is. Because again, we're not looking at this as a person anymore. We're looking at this like our objects that we were using in our last project. So don't drive yourself crazy. Just think of it as a two-dimensional object. You don't have to go insane. You just have to easily just trace the outline, keep going until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, you're going to notice that the entire thing is colored, nice and even, and then you're pretty much in the home stretch because the remaining part of this project is just all adding just little things here and there, literally little parts. The big parts are all done now. The majority of this project is complete as soon as you are done coloring this face. As soon as you're done the face, the base layer, the majority of the work is done, as I said. The hair is obviously something that's a little bit different, and I'm going to create another video for that. But you can see right there, I have my face colored of my cartoon, and I am ready for the next step, which is just coloring in the other little spots, say the lips and the mouth, the lips of the mouth and your eyes, and then adding some hair, and I am done. So I hope this helps get you started with coloring your face. Again, this is just a nice base layer. Think of it as adding color on top of color on top of color. That's what you're going to do in the end in order to make this realistic. But this is a nice base. This will get you started. Adding a little shadows here and there will finalize this, but pretty much this is the majority of the way done. So if you have any questions, let me know, and good luck.